Welcome back. I'm Anastasia, and my mission is to build a community of acceptance and authenticity. I needed some adventure buddies for this journey of insight, and I'm glad it's you. You are all welcome here, and I'm grateful that you decided to join me. Today, I am also joined by Brittaney Latta, a queer trauma therapist in the California area. You can find her on Instagram at Brittaney Does Therapy. That's Brittaney Does Therapy. Or check out her website, healingandcptsd.com. In this episode, Brittaney shares her personal journey around navigating childhood trauma, building safety, and starting her own private practice. We talk about her passion around safety, especially in the LGBTQ+ community, and we end by talking about what allies can do to support and protect queer identities. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to thank my clothing partner, Occupied Mind. Occupied Mind's goal is to create a sanctuary of self-expression. Their belief is simple yet profound. Everyone deserves to feel at home in their own skin. We share that dream, which is why I support them, and my closet is slowly turning into an Occupied Mind showroom. Use code InsightsWithUs15 at checkout to find a shirt that speaks your mind and bears your soul. That's OCTOPIEDMIND.com. Use code InsightsWithUs15 at checkout. Be authentically you. I am so excited that you are here. I'm excited to get to know you. So to start, I was wondering if you could just kind of give me your story. How did you get to this moment today? Who are
Yeah,
you?
100%. So I am Brittaney Latta. I'm a queer trauma therapist. And currently today, I am 35, sitting in my high-rise apartment in downtown with my 2 cats, where I feel extremely safe. This is like, I want to say this is like my little oasis. And getting to this place in life has been actually extremely intentional. So who I am today and where I am today is someone I dreamed about when I was younger, living in chaos. So my upbringing, which I've been pretty open about online, comes from a very like middle class family where I did have a mom who was an immigrant from Colombia, fell in love with, some white man. And this guy kind of wound up being very angry. And so we grew up in a really chaotic household because of his anger. And that lasted, I would say, like he got really, really angry and abusive from when I turned 12 till about 16 when they divorced. And at 16, when they got separated, my our financial like security went just down the drain, and we became very, very, I want to say poor, but like middle class poor, because we still had a house, but we couldn't pay for electricity in our house. We couldn't pay for food in the house, right? We couldn't buy like clothes. So for like a good over a year, we kind of lived like that, where we lit candles at night. We got gas from a generator. We asked for donations from churches,
There's so much
and
uncertainty.
so much uncertainty, so much chaos. I feel like chaos is just the word that describes it. And I feel like any person that's been through childhood trauma understands like that trauma just kind of compounds on itself. And so I held so much in until I moved out of my house at 18 to go to school to be what I thought was going to be a dancer. And I held so much of my childhood trauma in that it broke my brain. Like, I literally had a psychotic break where I was delusional, I was hallucinating, and that lasted about a week. And that experience forced me to get into therapy. And so at 18 years old is when I started taking therapy seriously. And I had to flunk out of my first semester of college because of my mental breakdown, went back this, you know, for the second try of my first semester. And I fell in love with psychology classes and just immersing myself in psychology and learning how I could like make a job and a career out of it I volunteered all throughout college in community mental health, started in that field when I became an intern therapist, and I continued to grow and I continued therapy of my own. And it kind of just led to like this up and down, wave of life where like things would get really good and then things would go really bad. And then things would get really good and then things would go really bad. But no matter what, I always had this goal in mind of like being able to be here and
Wait, when you say here, you mean
here.
as a therapist in your own space, safe, or are you say
Yes.
something else?
Yes. No, just that.
Okay. Okay.
Just that. Just like regulated in an environment that's predictable with people and friends that care about me where like no one's trying to harm me, you know?
Which,
Um,
wait, I'm so sorry because
yeah.
that almost sounds like anybody who has not been through childhood trauma, that sounds like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like nobody's trying to harm me. And I really want to emphasize where you were at for that to be your goal.
Hmm.
The chaos, the uncertainty, the fear going into, I just don't want anyone to be trying to hurt me anymore.
Yeah. My trauma survivors will get it.
Yeah. Yeah,
They will
they
get
will.
it.
They will. But for those of us that have not been through that level of childhood trauma, I just want to name for our listeners that can feel normal. And
Hmm.
it's almost weird how normal it can feel.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know what that feels like. That sounds amazing though. I mean, I know what it feels like now,
Yeah.
but I had to create that. Like the other thing that people don't realize when it comes to childhood trauma is that familiarity of like what we've gone through, our experiences becomes what we're also attracted to. And so when you have either an abusive parent or a neglectful parent, you will then find that in partners. So when I say the up and down rides, like my safety at home was not always safe. Sometimes my down was like I was dating an abusive partner. I think I dated about four of them in my lifetime. Um, two of them I could definitely textbook uh, diagnose as sociopaths. Um, another one with anger issues. And yeah.
Well, and just, you're shaking your head here of just looking back on it in the space
Hmm.
that you are now. What is this reaction that you're having?
I laugh at pain. Like my initial coping is like, our like the shit we go through is so wild that like we have to laugh.
Kind of
You know, I,
ridiculous, honestly.
yeah, some people don't support that. They're like, coping with humor is not a good thing. But I'm like, but is it not? Like,
Mm,
I support it. As a therapist, those are one of those things that they talk about in the therapy world that, can be a little like people can argue about it, but I support it. I think
I
it's okay.
literally just went to a lecture on healing with humor. So we're on the same
Amazing.
page. It's so universal. And
Yeah.
laughter isn't an emotion, it's an experience. So you can have it in pain, in trauma, in joy, but also in sadness. And being able to access that laughter can help bridge that window of tolerance.
Yep. Hmm. I heard someone say too, like, if I don't laugh, then I'm crying. And I'm like, well, both are a release if you think about it. Like, you're expelling energy
Yeah.
in either one.
Cry and laugh at the same time if that's what feels right for you.
That has happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you built this safety intentionally.
Hmm.
What kind of safety did you build?
Like, that's such a unique question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before.
Take your time with it. I
Yeah.
can
How do I
ask you
answer
a
that?
different one if you want.
No, no, I would love to answer that one. So, again, this has been an up and down journey to get here. But today, like the things that I have built that have kept me safe, I'm sober now of 3.5 years. That is like my number one. Like the decisions you can make when you're not sober, you cannot make in sobriety. It is just so much different. You feel everything. Like you actually process and think about consequences. So sobriety is probably my number one safety factor. That, and then with sobriety came letting go of a lot of toxic relationships, not on purpose. A lot of people left my life actually who were party friends. I also came out as bisexual to my family about 6 years ago. People left my life then as well. And when people leave, it allows space for new people. And so now the new people that have come into my life have been like queer, creative, other entrepreneurs.
Wait, did you just describe me? Love it.
See, there you go. I'm like, this, I would never have met this community without having come out and going through that process and that journey, and it wasn't easy. Getting sober, also not easy, not pretty. People on the internet can really glorify like this sober glow up, but
It's hard.
it's hard. Yeah.
I appreciate that everything is adaptive, right? So every reaction we have, any pattern that we fall into helped us survive at some point in our life. That's a theory that I hold through EMDR. And you know, drugs, alcohol, any sort of something that helps you numb, helps you dissociate is a survival tactic.
Yep.
And so letting go of that coping skill to be in the uncertainty and the like wobbly chaos of what do I do when I don't have that? That is
Mhm.
terrifying. It is hard. It is, like you said, you suddenly had to sit in it. You had to process it. And that allowed you to have insight, allowed you to grow, allowed you to build the safety. But that can also be terrifying and
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so challenging. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so hard.
It is
Healing
definitely not easy.
sucks sometimes.
It does. It does. Especially the letting go part, like you're saying, letting go of substances, right? Saying goodbye to that. Like, I still grieve at times of not being able to quote unquote party with everyone else and letting go of the people, that like no longer are, I like to say serving you, but also like it's not like they're doing anything for me. It's just, we're just no longer compatible, right? Like we're just at different places in life. And letting go of people is so, so hard.
Well, and
I
every
feel
change comes with a loss, and you have to grieve that.
mhm.
So even if it's a good change that now you're grateful for, that doesn't change that you had to lose a lot to get here.
Yeah, I feel like not enough people talk about that.
It's hard. And it's not
Yeah.
one everybody notices. And so that's a big one for me. Anytime I go through a change, like even starting this podcast, I had to give up
Mm.
free time, which is
Yep.
very sacred to me because I'm doing this for fun outside of my normal hours. And so being willing to give up that sacred space of me time so that I can connect and build community and create. It's amazing. I love what I'm doing, but it was also really hard and still is at times.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think being a creative, being a business owner, adulting, like a lot of that does come with like you have to make decisions. Like, are you going to have fun? Are you going to rest? Are you going to create? Are you going to serve and work? Like, we have all these choices we have to make in our day to day constantly. And it's like, which one's the best one for us? And there's no actual right answer of like which choice you have to make, but you get to make a choice,
Mhm. And you
and
can be
you're
flexible
choosing
with it.
creating. Yeah, no, 100%.
Well, and I'm big on flexibility too. I don't know if you've listened to any of my other episodes, but that word comes up a lot because it's hard to be flexible, especially if we have an idea in our heads. And so, like this week, I literally spent the last 3 weeks traveling for different reasons and like just
Congrats. I
got
want to
back.
say congrats. Is that a congrats moment?
I mean, it's good and it's also exhausting because
Yes.
again, my space is very sacred to me. And so like I went for a wedding, which was really fun and amazing. It was like
Mhm.
It was a queer poly summer camp wedding. And so we
I am
all
so
went
jealous. That
for,
sounds like
yeah,
everything I want to do.
it was so fun. So we like all showed up for a long weekend and did a summer camp, and there happened to be a formal wedding in the middle of it. Like, so we did
Oh
that.
my
And I did the trauma
gosh.
conference that I told you about through email. And, I
Yeah,
hung out with my partner and we did like a little mini vacation. So, like, really cool stuff.
that
And
is
then I
really
got
cool.
back and like I'm losing my voice because I've been doing so much. And
Mm,
so this is kind of the last day of, okay, like, get through the stuff that you're excited to be doing, but you're also exhausted. I'm excited to do this. I was like this close, like, I'm losing my voice. Should I cancel? No, I don't want to. I want to be here. That choice.
yep.
But then after today, I have purposefully set boundaries and given myself a really light, easy rest of my week
Oh,
with no
that's amazing.
expectations, no plans, a whole bunch of me time. I'm taking a break from the podcasting, like just
Yes.
existing.
The rest and recharge that is definitely needed.
Yeah. Tell me about that for you. What does that look like when you're
Rest and
building that
recharge.
space?
So I became an entrepreneur of like building my own practice now almost 3 years ago. So it's been about like 2.5 years. So like a year into
Oh,
sobriety, I was like, it's too calm. I need some chaos. Let me start my own business.
yep. I've been there. Not the
Yeah.
sobriety part, but the I've been sober my whole life. I'm substance free.
Oh,
Just by
congratulations. Like,
choice.
wow.
Like every once in a while
Yeah.
when I was younger, I was like, okay, I'll try this cider or something, I guess, but never been for me. But yeah. So, okay,
That
starting
is
it.
fascinating. That in itself is so fascinating because that's just not at all how I grew up. To like hear people that are like, I just like didn't want to. I'm like, what?
We can talk about that. You can ask me questions in the future, but I want to bring it back to you. So you were like, you know what? I'm too bored. Let me become an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And learning how to have boundaries as an entrepreneur is next level. Like,
Mm,
there's no, I'm going to clock out for the day. I'm done. Like, there's always something to do as an entrepreneur. So I will be honest, year one, I did not have any boundaries. I was learning, if I wasn't seeing clients, I was learning how to market. I was learning how to do business. I was on my computer all the time. I wasn't exercising. Like, it was bad. And so I just like put myself back into depression and was like, this is not sustainable.
just completely burned yourself out.
I wouldn't say burn myself out because I have severe depression. So I think it just triggered that
Okay.
because I was still excited to do. I
Yeah.
just like was losing energy outside of working.
Was there a particular moment that you remember kind of zooming out and going, oh, oh, this has to change? Or was it like a slow burn?
Well, I would say it's I'm like, is it a slow burn? I think there's just certain things that start to happen where you're not able to get out of bed as easily, like you're not showering, you're not wanting to talk to anybody outside of client time. So I don't know if it's like either of those. It's definitely like noticeable though.
What about the moment when you realized like maybe something needs to change because this triggered your depression? Like the I need to do something about this moment.
Yeah. Well, luckily I've been in therapy like nonstop um since I've been sober. Like I just could not do sobriety without a therapist. And so she's always like my sounding board, you know? Like if I'm going down this path and like we know I'm an addict, so my addiction comes out with work, right? Like I just want to like work, 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 work. Or my addiction then comes out in a relationship and I just want to like play all the whole time and like be around this person. Um, we talk about that and then I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to make the change. And she's like, okay, let's make a plan. What do we do? And so a lot of that came back to boundaries, like it's not starting work until a certain time, cutting off by a certain time. And I work really well as like a go, 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 stop. So I'll push for a few weeks and then I'll take a week off. And so that's actually a very newer thing where I'm like, okay, I'm giving myself a week off every month for the rest of the year. Like I had a
Wow.
push in the beginning of the year. Started a new service, these therapy intensives that are now this like new project I've been working on of offering therapy for 3 hours, 3 days a week. And so I was like, how do I learn about that? How do I do that? How do I market that? And so I did a big push. And so now the second half, I've learned my things. I'm taking a week off every month.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
called, I think, intermittent hustling is how I'm
I
using
love
it.
this idea and I have some questions.
Yeah.
So, as you are building this intensives project, are you also doing traditional therapy?
Hmm.
Okay. And so I'm curious how, maybe not necessarily how you've balanced it, but how have you set that up within the structure of your private practice? Because, I mean, as you know, with traditional therapy, some clients are weekly and some clients are biweekly, and giving yourself a week off once a month as a therapist,
Yeah.
that is powerful. I've had so many colleagues be like, I don't know how people do this. So I want to know, like, how do you do that?
So a lot of my clients, luckily, have been with me for quite a while. And so they're mostly on every other week to some are once a month. I have a few clients that are once a week, but not a lot. And being so I have an online private practice. You have to be a certain level of functioning to do online therapy. You have to be pretty high functioning. So if I'm gone for a week, like they're going to be okay.
Mhm.
And I don't have anyone in a weekly spot. Like no one has a Monday at 10 a.m. That's your spot. I always schedule as I go.
Okay.
So we schedule the next session during the session. So that way they have travel plans. I have travel plans. We
Mm.
just skip a week and they'll be okay.
Yeah. I love that. I don't
Yeah.
know. My brain is like, schedule as you go? Like,
Yeah. I schedule as I go. I can imagine having people in a designated spot.
yeah. See, I'm literally the opposite with my brain. Like, I need to know where people fit in because
Mm.
I kind of almost have the opposite story as you, where I started my practice 5 years ago. So, right in
Oh,
the heat of 2020
congratulations.
and fully online as well.
Amazing.
And I started it contracting with other companies that sent me clients. So I didn't have to market at all.
Oh, wow.
And I set it up as this is the time that I have available, and I'm not seeing anyone outside of it. If you want to see me later in the evening, sorry, I'm not a good fit. Find somebody else. Like,
Mm.
this is what I've got. Take it or leave it. And I
Yeah.
never went outside of that for like years.
That's amazing. Yeah, that
um,
marketing piece is the part that's like,
mhm.
you could do that for hours.
Yeah. So I didn't do that. And it wasn't until I want to say, can't remember if it was 2023 or last year, 2024, where I started hitting this point of I'm bored. I've done
Mm,
this, I've set it up, I'm good. Like I'm working successfully as a trauma therapist online. Okay, but now what? And so that's when I was like, okay, maybe I start writing. Maybe I'm going to start a podcast. Maybe I'm going to shift to more cash based stuff and start playing around with marketing. And so it took me like 3 years of, okay, I figured this out to then start playing with what does this look like. And it's
mm,
almost challenging to like, I've been in that system for so long. That's why I'm excited to talk to you about this because I'm like, what does it look like for somebody else? I'm
yeah,
curious about like what can I add or what can I adapt and that flexibility of is this still working for me or do I need to shift how I'm focusing my life? Not like I'm going to stop being a
yeah.
therapist. I'm still going to be a therapist, but like how do I
Right. How
show up
you do
in it?
it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I never realized what was possible with private practice. Like I had no idea the options that you can do as a therapist in private practice, whether that's like structuring your therapy practice in some format or just doing different ventures like podcasting. I had no idea. I thought I was like, I'm just going to open a business, see clients and like I'm going to make more money than what I was doing at a group practice. Like that's all I thought. But now it's taken off this whole like so many more opportunities. And for my practice specifically, I don't do mornings. I never have. I've only ever been cash pay. Um, and with that, like comes a lot of flexibility for I think me and my clients, right? Like whenever you have I feel like a cash pay therapist, you don't need as many clients. So you have a lot more wiggle room.
Mhm.
But the marketing piece is real, which is
It's
also
real.
fun though, because it's creative.
Mhm.
And I think that creativity can be really addicting, at least for me.
Say more about that, about accessing that creativity.
Yeah. So I mostly market online. I mean, obviously online, right? Because I have an online practice. So I don't know if that's obvious. So I market on TikTok, on Instagram, and I'm going to be starting YouTube in the very near future, like this week.
I'm so
And I
excited for that.
thank you. I am a little nervous because it feels so much more technical than just a 30-second reel, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm on some therapist directories. And so all of that stuff is like working on your messaging, right? Like, how do you want like images to look and like your colors to look and like creating your website? And on social media, I've gotten so much more than just clients. I've built community. I've gotten opportunities to talk to people beyond one-on-one therapy, whether that's like workshops or speaking events. I actually launched a product because of it. It's like a
What?
neurodivergent coping tools box for the LGBT community.
Oh my God. I will be sharing this somewhere on my social media as well, because that's amazing.
Yeah,
Tell me
that
about
one's Instagram. I have all my products actually here. I'm like looking at them.
Okay,
But
okay, unbox them. Let's do it.
oh my God. So I'm like, I think I have one that I had
And for
boxed. Maybe I took it out.
those of you listening to this on audio, the video will be available on my Substack and you should hunt it down if you want to see the products.
Yeah, so it's actually called Queer Rebels Box. And here, I'll just pull one item out at a time. So this is the bear that's weighted, and you can put it in the microwave just like this or in the freezer. And so I feel like this is a really nice, like sensory, calming, grounding activity. So, what do you need? Heat? Do you need cooling? Do you just need pressure? I think it's about 3 pounds. It's like made for babies, but I'm going to use this as a grown up.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, this is my favorite piece of the box. So ideally, this is not like a monthly membership. This is like a one time you buy and like that's all you need. And I'm only dropping 25 boxes at a time. So once 25 are sold, I will be restocking and I'm only stocking from other LGBTQ creators. So
Wow.
this person is probably going to only be in this box, but this is an affirmation book written by a queer artist.
Oh my gosh.
And it is just like beautiful. They painted all of these pictures. They wrote all of the
Wow.
little affirmations, like little short paragraphs. It is just beautiful how they've done this book.
So some of the items in the box will be the same every time you restock, but some might be unique based on who you're sourcing it from and who you connect with.
Yeah. Hmm.
That is
Yeah. And I've
amazing.
connected with everyone either through social media or there's like this app called Fair where you can look up wholesale products and values.
Okay.
So if you want to work with just Black owned businesses or women owned businesses, um, you can do that. So I just put like LGBTQ businesses.
Mhm.
This is another activity book. It's like a coloring activity book created by a trans artist who I'm absolutely obsessed with. I've actually he's like trans mask. I bought quite a few of his things like that are in my house. But I
Okay.
don't know if you can see if it's
Yeah,
whiting
a
out
little
too
bit.
much.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. How did you, because we're talking about creativity, that's how this topic came up. How
Yeah.
did you come up with this idea? Like, was it always in the back of your head and then you were like, maybe I can do it? Or did it just happen to you?
Yeah. It just happened one day. I was just bored and like I had actually always kind of wanted to do this for my clients because like I have they say that 30% of the LGBTQ community are neurodivergent. I think that number is like way bigger because in my own caseload of clients, I have about 27 clients right now. I want to say 80% of them have ADHD or autism or a combination of both. And so I've always wanted to just be like, here's a thing that has all the coping tools versus me telling you what to go get. And so technically it's always been in the back of my mind, but finally I was like bored one night talking to ChatGPT and they told me it was possible. I didn't know at the time that ChatGPT is just an enabler.
ChatGPT tells you what you want to hear.
Did not realize that. I was like, oh my God, this is the best idea ever. ChatGPT told me so.
Yeah. Oh my God. So
So
many of my clients come in and they're like, ChatGPT told me this thing. And I'm like, okay, but you know that that's only one perspective, right? Like, let's slow it down. Let's see if it's what you want. But it sounds like it's what you wanted.
I know I didn't know I needed someone to like gas me up and tell me that my ideas were amazing.
Just give you permission to be creative and you ran with it.
I had no idea. I was like, oh my God, ChatGPT thinks this is so possible. It must be possible.
Yeah.
So I was a little naive in the beginning, but
But it seems to
I,
be working.
well, I've sold one box. So
Maybe a
there's that.
second. Maybe.
Maybe a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a second. Um, there's still more stuff. I don't know if you want to share or see them or
Of
not. We could just
course.
wait
Yeah. We're
for
kind
the
of
box to get delivered.
we're
Okay.
talking while you're sharing. So this is, yeah, keep going. I love looking at all this stuff.
So my goal with the box was to get all five senses, right? So we've done touch already. We've done sight.
Because, yeah, the books, you have to look at it.
Exactly. And so this one's taste. So originally I had drinks and then I was like worried about them exploding in the mail. So I kept the drinks for myself. And then I got these beautiful, um, they're honey lollipops. So it's just pure honey in a lollipop form. And this is actually by a Black queer artist who works with honey. And so the first 10 people that are going to order boxes get this eye mask that they created out of honey. It's like some sort, it's at the bottom. I can't even get to it, but that's like a little added bonus for the first people that buy.
Yeah. I am impressed by so many things, but where my brain is going right now is how we started this conversation, sharing your
Yeah.
story, talking about the chaos and how, I mean, it just, the way you described it was so isolating. It's like you didn't know who your community was or what was going to happen or what your future was going to look like. And then having your break at 18 and then trying therapy and then continuing to fall into these patterns
Yes.
of chaos and good and bad and good and bad, to then be sitting here talking about how you have found queer artists that you have sourced to build a box to help other people feel safe and grounded and comforted. Like, it has just been this full journey to build not just a safe space for you, but you're like, now that you have it, you're clearly spreading it out and like giving that love to the world and the other people who maybe have felt that chaos and need that
Mm-hmm.
safety.
Yeah, that is my goal. Honestly, I want to help people beyond one-on-one therapy. Like my goal is to have some kind of accessibility tools that people can reach at any income level where they can feel that. Like that especially like our queer community, right? Like I don't know how many people grew up in chaotic homes, but it does feel like all of us in some sense. Maybe not all, but like a high amount.
Yeah.
I'm almost like maybe people not in chaotic homes are actually the minority. I'm like, maybe that's it, but I don't know. I've just worked in mental health for way too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, just seeing that we're all just crave acceptance. Like, we all crave acceptance so bad, and to be able to build something for a community that's like representation, acceptance, safety, just like everything we've all wanted, like into like this little tiny package.
Yeah. Well, I do think there's some truth to your statement of people who are queer
Hmm.
in our current society. There is a space where a moment where you kind of have to come out. Like nobody assumes we're queer.
Hmm.
And I try really hard to make assumptions that people are queer on purpose as like my own little form of normalcy. But for like, I remember watching this video back in college where somebody created a film, like a short film, where being gay was actually the norm,
Mm,
not straight.
I love that.
And
What is
the
this short film? How do I find it?
I will try to hunt it down. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the description of this video. But it was a family and the little kid, I can't remember if it was a girl or a boy portrayed in the film, was straight
Mm,
and was like struggling with this feeling because everyone else around them were gay. And that's what was normal. And they didn't know how to tell anybody and they didn't know how to make it okay. And they didn't know how to feel what they were feeling. And just the power of what is the norm flipped
yeah.
really, like, I still imagine it to this day of there is a moment where people are going to assume who you are based on what you look like and what that means about who you are as a person. And that's
Yeah.
just, there's usually so much going on underneath the surface, whether it's your identity or how you were raised or what trauma ended up in your body. People don't know unless they ask or are curious enough to get to know you to that level. And unfortunately, queerness is something that isn't automatically given or accepted
Mm,
in a lot of spaces.
yeah. I feel like that's very loud right now
Mhm.
in 2025.
Yeah.
Um, who knows where the world will be when this episode comes out? Hopefully it's different, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully things have changed. But as of today, yeah, it can be like a very scary place. I actually have seen a video where the negative responses that people get when they come out was flipped to like a straight person coming out,
Mhm.
and like what kinds of things that we hear, but now is like being portrayed to a straight person. And it was just posted on social media without any, like, you would only understand if you were queer. And so the
Mhm.
people watching that were not queer, they're like, why are they making those responses? Like, why are they saying that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And they were just so confused. And I truly believe, well, I have experienced people that are not in our community don't actually understand the dangers that we face continuously, or the discrimination that we face continuously. And, I'm very like white femme presenting. I'm extremely safe. Like, my privilege is through the roof. But that isn't the truth for like people around me. Right. And
Mhm.
so witnessing what I have witnessed through my clients or other people, and the fact that like we need safe spaces, and there's like straight people now infiltrating this safe spaces, so they don't even know why we need a safe space. Like, they're not even aware. Like, I think I was talking to my family about going to this like queer festival called No Other Festival, and my family member was like, when did people just stop being people? Like, why do they need all these labels? I was like, you don't know that it's for safety reasons. Like, these people can't just go to any festival or any event and feel safe. Like, this is
Mhm.
created for them so they can put their guard down and let
Yeah.
go.
It's not about keeping like, no, you aren't allowed here. It's about those of you that aren't typically allowed in other spaces are allowed and welcome here.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you don't have to worry about someone harassing you or
Yeah.
trying to commit violence on you, you know?
Yeah. I had someone once ask me, in a very safe, let's just discuss it and get a little uncomfortable space, why pride flags were everywhere. Like, why
Mm,
would people do this? Why is that a thing? Like, why, like, people are just accepting. Why would you need to put a pride flag in every business? And what kind of came out of it was this realization for them of, if I can put a pride flag in a window, that is so easy, but it
hmm.
means so much to the one person who has never felt safe.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course I'm going to put a pride flag. Not only am I
Hmm.
queer, but like I'm going to put a pride flag everywhere. I've got my rainbow here. I actually have a little rainbow like squishmallow thingy there. I've got my pride flags up here.
Oh, I know. I was looking at whatever that is over there. That's,
This.
yes, whatever that is. What is that?
So it's literally just like a wall hanging like tassel thing that I got in Peru.
Oh,
Peru loves rainbows. Everything is so colorful and just rainbow everywhere in Peru. And I saw that. I was like, I have to have this for my
that's amazing.
office.
I want to go to Peru. I still have yet to travel to South America, which
Yeah.
is, this is Cleopatra, by the way, my hairless cat.
Hi,
She likes
Cleopatra.
to hang out.
I love it. But yeah,
But yeah, no,
even it's
it's
just
a symbol
everywhere.
of safety. Like
Yeah.
it's not even like a symbol of like I'm gay now. It's like a symbol of safety. Like you can come in here and this is a safe place and you will be protected. And the average person doesn't realize that queer people need protecting. Like
Mhm.
they don't realize how dangerous it can be for people.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
if
like
you're someone who is a safe person, but maybe doesn't realize that, all you need to do is put up a flag and be like, hey guys, you can come here.
mhm,
Hey people, hey y'all, like let's get in here and be safe together.
yes. Yep, exactly. Yeah, me and my boyfriend, we went to what was it? How do you call it? You know those tours that you do to like go on like a free vacation? They're like, come check out this timeshare
Oh,
and you can go on a free vacation.
yeah.
So we've done that twice. Highly recommend. It's also a really good boundaries exercise activity because they try to sell you and they are so good at selling. Like I would have said yes so many times if I hadn't worked on boundaries because they ask and they ask and they ask and they ask and they have multiple people coming and asking. So you're consistently having to say no. So if you're trying to practice boundaries, go to a timeshare tour. You'll get a free trip out of it. Anyways, long story short, the guy that was leading our tour had a rainbow pin on. And so immediately his guard and my guard were down. So my boyfriend's trans. I'm also like on guard for him when we go out. Like I definitely like use my privilege when we go out and like assess the situation. Do the bathroom doors shut in the men's room, you know, like are there stalls in the men's bathrooms? Like it's just wild like what you have to like be aware of, right? But anyways, this person had a pin on and we just felt so immediately comfortable. And so by the end of our tour, I asked him, I was like, "Are you gay or straight? Like what is your," and he was talking about pride and like how he went to pride. So I just asked, I was like, "Are you family or are you an ally?" And he was like, "Oh no, I'm just an ally. I just want people to know like I'm an ally and that like they're safe with me." And I was like, "That is amazing. I love that."
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that too for both of you.
Yeah, me too.
And just I'm sitting with the feeling you described of both of you together going out in public, because it's not just you individually, where am I? Am I safe here? But is my partner safe here?
Yeah.
How does this work anytime we go anywhere? Like there's this
Hmm.
almost like I have to have a plan in order to make sure we're both safe.
Yeah. I think like when we walk around, we look like a cis het couple.
Mhm.
You know, we both are very white. So like walking around normally, like we feel pretty safe together. It's when you have to go to an establishment and now we have the bathroom situation, or there's like states now that are arresting trans people from using bathrooms, right? Like, so now we're not going to certain states. Um, yeah, you even want to like walk into queer spaces and we both will like feel funny because we like look like this straight couple and we're like, we're not though. Like, I promise we belong here too. So yeah, it's interesting because my thought kind of wanders away from myself and goes straight to him
Yeah.
when we're out and about.
Well, and I'm having two separate thoughts because in the like out in the world space, especially in like the bathroom situation, a lot of people don't actually understand what trans means or
Yeah.
what someone who is trans even looks like. And there
Yep.
have been so many stories of somebody that's like, oh, I mean, what was it like for you when you were a boy, like growing up? And it's like, you're literally talking about how you hate trans people, and then I'm passing so well that like you don't even notice because
Mm-hmm.
they don't see it. They don't understand it. They're not actually slowing down enough to be curious about the experience. They're just being told what it is
Yep.
and then taking that at face value. And that's leading to people who are more androgynous or who can't quite pass or who can pass, but one wrong slip of a word in front of the wrong person and you don't know.
Well, what's interesting too is like the trans community makes up about 1% of the population. So for people to even come across a trans person is pretty rare.
Mhm.
But what's more common is going to be cis women who do not fall under the typical femme category,
Yeah.
who are now going to be questioned, right? So we have like our masculine presenting women, our androgynous presenting cis women, right? Like
Yeah.
also like our women of color, right? A lot of them don't present perfectly in this like stereotype of what they think femininity is supposed to be. So all these anti-trans rhetoric are actually going to be affecting cis women the most. You know, cis women of color, cis masculine women. Um, for that exact reason, because people don't fucking know. And oh, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss
You're
on here.
allowed to swear. You're good.
Okay. People don't know. And the percentage that someone's going to come across a trans person is so, so low.
Yeah. So, all right.
Wow, I'm getting heated on this.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited. My mind is going in 1,000 directions, but I want to ask for the ally, for the person who wants to be the safe space. How can you, like out in public, not just the little pride flag or the stuff we already talked about, but like what helps you feel safe? What helps you feel safe on your partner's behalf when an ally shows up and you're like, oh, that's an ally? What does that look
Hmm.
like?
I think someone that's willing to stand up. So, one story that I've been told of like, what can you do if you come across a trans person or even like a masculine presenting woman in the bathroom? Stay there till they leave. You wait to walk out of the bathroom with them. So, if someone says something, you can stand up for them. Because all too many times people are now like men are charging into the bathroom, yelling at women, trying to like accuse them of like being trans and not being able to be in the bathrooms, right? And it's like an attack on like quote unquote trans women, but it's an attack on all women. And so if you see someone that you're like, okay, they could be targeted, you know, for whatever reason, just hang out there till they leave, you know, wash your
Well,
hands with them, walk out with them. And
yeah.
that's just something small you can do.
Well, and something I appreciate about that is it's not sit there and say, well, you could be targeted, so I'm going to sit with you. It's not that.
No.
It's just being kind,
Yeah.
washing your hands a little bit longer, maybe strike up a conversation, compliment something on their outfit and get a conversation going so you happen to leave at the same time. Like it doesn't have to be this super intentional, I am going to protect you kind of
Yeah.
vibe. It could just be like, oh my God, I love your shoes. What do you think of the food here? Like, how's your day going? We're in the bathroom together. All right, let's go.
Girls love talking
Just
in the
in case.
bathrooms also.
Yeah.
Girl time in the bathroom is the best.
It is. It really is. So yeah, no, I like that a lot. I think a big one for me too, um, My partner is really good at this. My partner is an ally. He's like the golden retriever straight man who's like,
I
he's
love
so
that.
adorable. I love him so much. But he's really good at anytime somebody says something that like clearly they don't know the experience, he'll pause
Mhm.
and be like, "You don't know about that. Like, that's not your identity. What are you talking about?" Or like, "Wait, has someone who holds that identity told you that?" Just these
Mm.
moments of like, "Are you sure you know what you're talking about?" And he's so good at just like sliding that into a conversation.
I love
And
that.
yeah, it's amazing.
I love the, like, did someone who's lived that experience tell you that?
Yeah. Mhm.
That piece right there.
Yeah. Cause like if you don't fit the identity, you don't know unless somebody's confirmed it for you. Otherwise, you're just making an assumption about what someone's life is like.
Yes.
And
We love to do that.
something I want to do an episode on at some point. Maybe you come back for it and we'll focus on it. But is the idea that even if you hold one identity, there's so many more to it. And it's
Mhm.
the intersections of each of those identities that makes us so unique.
Yes.
So I'm biromantic and demisexual.
Oh.
And and it's so, and I'm with a straight white man, so I pass. I
Yeah.
also have chronic pain, which is an individual or an invisible identity. Uh,
Mhm.
I grew up in the Middle East and Southeast Asia as a racial minority. Nobody knows that
Mm.
about me just by looking at me. Like, there are
No.
so many identities that exist that no one knows about unless you slow down enough to ask.
Yeah.
And that's such a big deal because even if you're like, they're gay, okay, but how does that show up in their life? How is that their experience? Don't make assumptions.
Yeah. I would love for us all to assume that everyone's gay, though. That sounds fun.
It would be kind of
What
fun.
a yeah, what a different world we would live in. I always get, like, people get thrown off when I ask them if they're gay or straight when they're straight. They're like, "What? Why are you asking me that? Like,
Yes.
what is that?" I'm like, Why should I not ask you that?
Mhm.
Like, why should I just assume you're straight?"
Yeah.
Right? Like, why should we just assume things about people? Why not ask?
Yeah. Well, and speaking of assumptions, I do my best when I'm speaking to someone or about someone. If I don't know what their pronouns are, I will
Mm,
automatically say they. It's gender
yeah.
neutral. It's easy. There's no problem to it. I have no problem if somebody calls me they,
Mhm.
but if somebody calls me he, I'm gonna be like, what are you talking about? Like, that is not my identity. Who are you?
Mhm.
So I automatically try to use they no matter what. And if somebody gets offended by that, I'm like, why?
Right?
What makes that so hurtful?
What are you so upset about?
Yeah.
What are we triggering inside you that you don't want anyone to know about?
Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, they have to
Mhm.
wake up every single day and choose to be straight.
That is a life for a lot of people, though,
It is.
especially, like, being bisexual, right? Like, we're supposed to be statistically the largest category, but we also come out the least,
Mhm.
right? And, like, I don't know if you've ever watched male culture. They have a lot of, like, underlying, like, just sexual tension in how they interact
Mhm.
with each other, and I'm like, "You you guys are just repressing a lot of bisexuality that you're just not allowing yourself to explore
Mhm.
because of your societal rules that men have to follow, that we all have to follow, right? These different
Yeah.
rules, quote, unquote."
To survive. And I'm in the belief camp of everything is fluid all of the time.
Mhm.
And I was never, up until I started like specializing, I specialize in complex trauma within relationships and intimacy. So the
Ooh.
dynamic for people who have then also have complex trauma. And it was kind of building this space and building this language and setting it up that I finally started being like, oh, I guess that's the identity that fits me. But I was safe enough in my life growing up that I never had to worry about it. I never even
Mm.
questioned it. And my best friend had this moment through college of like, I have to figure it out and I have to explore and I have to know who I am. And she tells me stories of like being frustrated at me that I didn't want to explore in the same way that she felt like she had to.
That's so interesting.
And
What was she doing to explore?
just like reading all the different labels and trying to explore what
Mm,
each label would mean and like wanting to sit down and be like, am I this label or this label? What do you think about you? Right.
mm,
And
mhm.
just trying to find the language that explained how she felt. And I remember having moments where she'd be like, look at the list. And I just like, I mean, I guess if I had to choose, I'd be asexual. Like, I don't
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
I'm still me. Like, I don't know.
Right,
And
you're like, you've never felt super drawn to, like, needing
yeah,
that. Yeah,
like I was always very fortunate to feel secure in who I was, that I didn't need to like find the label for the rest of the world to get it.
yeah.
And again, it wasn't until more recently that it's like as I'm helping other people explore it, that my brain's like, oh, I guess this, I guess that. But like me and my partner at the climbing gym will both be like, hot person over there. Doesn't
I
matter what
love
their
that.
identity is. We're both just like, oh my God, yeah, they are hot. This is great.
I love that hot person. I love that. And it is true that, like, we all are people and, like, the amount of different terms and, like I personally love a label.
Okay.
I think that they're so much fun. I think that they give us, like, a roadmap onto, like, what it might mean, like, it helps our assumptions, right? Like, our assumptions have a place to go, and so, yeah, the amount of little labels that, like, we can put on ourselves, um, I think is really cool, and then I feel like there's always these, like, broader labels too that are just, like, easy for the status quo to understand, right? Like queer, bisexual, like, the status quo gets that, but, like, we go to, like, demisexual and get into those little smaller things or asexual, and not everyone's gonna understand
Neuroqueer is my
that.
new favorite one.
Is that, like, neurodivergent and queer?
Yeah. And it is both a verb and a noun. So you can you can neuroqueer or you can be neuroqueer. And it's the idea of not fitting the norm, purposefully, intentionally being different from what has been deemed societally normal and something more than that. But that's kind of like the gist of the definition. And I love it.
I'm like, "Can I use that?" Maybe I need to change my box to, like, neuroqueer coping tools box.
Neuroqueer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
love
I was
it.
saying, like, coping tools box for neurodivergent queer people. It's, like, such a longer
Neuroqueer
word.
box.
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
love that.
Yeah. Now, I think labels are really important when somebody who needs them, right?
Yeah,
It helps us understand how we fit into the world, how we don't fit into the world. It helps other people understand who we are in the world. And at the same time, wherever you go, there you are.
mhm,
So no matter what you find or what label you end up using, you're still you at the end of the
mhm.
day. And it's just more language to feel like you.
I like the, like, you can also find your people, like,
Mhm.
similar people to you with labels.
Yeah. It helps you build that community.
Mhm, definitely. That's so fun.
I'm enjoying this conversation.
Me too. Neuro queer. That's like my new I gotta write that down because I'm gonna forget that. Like, I'm gonna look that up and make a post about it because this is the first time I've heard the word.
Yeah. I discovered the word at the trauma conference I went to, and I went to a neurodivergent queer talk, and
Mm.
they were talking about neuroqueer. I'm like, oh my God, did I just find my new identity?
Did they talk about the percentage of neurodivergent people that are queer?
I cannot remember off the top of my
Okay.
head.
It's okay. I've done the research and, like, people have talked to me about it, and, like, everything I always hear is 30%, but I'm like, maybe that got updated because I don't think that's true. Like, I think it's
No.
bigger.
And there's so many different types of neurospiciness. Because, like, yes, there's ADHD and there's autism, but there's just sensory processing. And there's, oh God, what was the other one I just had? Highly sensitive people. And like, there's so many different ways to be outside of neurotypical that I think that
I just
definitely
found out that I
catches.
have like an audio processing disorder. And my therapist called me neurospicy. And I was like, is that though? I was like, does that fall under? And then she's like, well, I think so because it's like your brain has a different way of functioning,
Mhm.
but it's just with sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neurotypical means this is the normal way the brain functions. Neurodivergent means you have diverged from that norm. It doesn't just
Yeah.
mean you have this diagnosis, it is just you are not the norm in how the brain works.
Okay. You're updating this word for me. So thank you. Thank you. The way I've been using it, it was like just for people that have ADHD and autism. So I love that it's like, okay, it's like you have brain differences.
Yeah. Brain differences. Your brain's just a
Yeah.
little bit more spicy versus, the mild ones.
Yeah. Mild is so boring.
Yeah, I prefer a little bit of extra spice with my brain?
Right? I agree. We just have to find things that like work for it.
So, as we're kind of nearing the end of our time here, I always like to stop and check in and see if there's anything we did not talk about that you want to talk about, something that is left lingering, something you want to emphasize, anything at all before I do my final wrap up question.
I mean, I feel like since we're just talking about the queer community in general, like I just want to like leave a message that like the world as a society of a whole, we have always like praised conformity. Like conformity has been a way of like governments controlling people for as long as I can remember in history, right? And so with everything going on today, like that is all the government is trying to do again is like get us all to conform. So for anyone that's listening, like there is nothing wrong with you, right? Like being different, being unique, like we all are that. They just don't want us to be, right? So nothing's wrong with you. You are beautiful the way you are, no matter what anyone says. Conformity is just not super fun, but it's something we are conditioned at a very, very young age. And so when we start to step outside that box, people get scared, right? They're scared for you. They're scared of you because if you break the rules, what's gonna happen? So I just want to remind everyone that like being queer, being neurospicy, like that's all so beautiful. So
Mhm. I love this. I love this so much. And I want to emphasize that even though there's a lot of fear in the world right now, and there's a lot of almost distance from community,
mhm,
like you said, you're not alone. And also, we have never been more out and more unique and more like individual acceptance than we have ever been. Like, this is the most out anyone's ever been.
mhm,
I've had clients ask me, like, is it that suddenly there are more gay people out there? It's like, no, we just finally can show up. We can
yeah,
finally, express that this is who we are in ways that queer people have never been able to. And
yes,
so not only is there a community, not only are you not alone, but we are fighting to be seen every single day. And it is working.
yes, it is definitely working.
Yeah. Feel like your
100%.
ears are like a testament to that. Just like be you, be authentic, and you will find your community.
100%. And it's scary, right? Like it's definitely a journey. And I cannot imagine like on a global level, everyone telling you that you're like an awful person and that you have the internet now. Like I didn't grow up with the internet. I just like think about the youth, right? So it's I think so, so important to have that community and build community if people have not, so that you're not just getting this like negative feedback, you're getting this positive feedback and you're seeing people that are becoming beautiful, successful, like loving adults whose lives are actually great and it's not turning out to be like what the people that want you to conform say it's going to be. Like, no, your life does not actually get harder. Like hate is 10% of your life and 90% your life is everything you make it.
Like adulting can be hard,
Yeah.
but also there's so much freedom. You're never stuck. You get to, like, if something doesn't feel right, you can just change your mind. Like there's
You are
so
not a
much
tree.
freedom. Yeah.
You are not a tree. You can change. Yes.
Yeah. Although there is an exercise that I guide clients through where they become a tree to be grounding. And I do like that one where you can choose to be a tree for short periods of time.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I love that. Okay, only for like that exercise, you are a tree.
I did warn you I liked humor also.
Same. Same. I love that.
Okay.
I know we're both trauma therapists. We're both queer. Like,
Yeah.
we got to have that dark humor, you know?
Of course we're going to have humor.
Hmm.
Okay. So my last question for you, very grounding. What intention is guiding you this week?
Well, rest is actually guiding me this week because it's period week and I need extra rest. So I've actually been in bed all day with a heating pad until this event. And I was like, what's my schedule tomorrow? Oh, I have like one person I'm seeing. So I'm chilling all week this week.
Well, thank you for getting out of bed for me. You could have done this in bed and I would not have blinked.
It's a dark cave in there, trust me. And I do not want to like change that lighting in there. It's so dark and beautiful. Like
Okay.
I'm out with the sun. I will be going back to my cave after.
I love this. I love this. So I will not keep you any longer. I want you to return to the beauty of your cave.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me in this space.
Oh my gosh, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully, something we talked about today resonated with you. If it did, let yourself sit with that idea for a little while longer. Again, if you'd like to get to know Brittaney a little bit more, I recommend following her on Instagram at BrittaneyDoesTherapy. You can also check out her website, which is healingandcptsd.com. If you have any questions for this podcast, Insights with Us, or any themes you'd like us to focus on in the future, send us a message on Instagram at Insights with Us Podcast, or send us an email at insightswithus@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to hear more, please follow, like, or subscribe. If you want to support the continuation of this podcast, you can donate. To do so, find me, Anastasia Soroka, on buymeacoffee.com. You can also find Insights with Us on Substack for exclusive content, including episodes in video format and other writings about my insight journey. You can find digital downloads on my website, happymindwellness.com. All of this is available in my Instagram bio. Thank you for being my adventure buddy. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you for creating insight with us.